Welcome to our fourth annual School of Management PRiME competition. I'm Dulce Gallardo, a student of the MBA program, and have the honor of opening this PRiME competition annual event and award ceremony. There is no question that our planet is facing global challenges that need to be addressed urgently. We, the students of the School of Management, are aware of the huge responsibility to take actions from a business perspective. PRiME competition is a tremendous opportunity to present solutions for these global challenges by addressing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. These goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Today, we celebrate the inspiration and the hard work of my fellow students who took a step forward and presented their projects during this month and have been voted by our community for the past few days. Also, we are going to hear from the team of the School of Management behind this competition that is making us part of an important global initiative. Last but not least, we are going to hear from business leaders in the sustainability field who mark an example of a conscious leadership and who are honoring this event by presenting the winners of this meaningful competition. Join me today is the PRiME team who are behind this competition and initiative. They are Dean of the School of Management, Gerhard Apfel-Thaler, Valeria Makarova, Professor and PRiME Project Lead, and Susan Wood, Communications Manager and PRiME Project Co-Champion. And now, I'd like to hand it over to our Dean of the School of Management, Gerhard.
Well, thank you, Dulce. As business educators at Cal Lutheran School of Management, we listen to our stakeholders, our students, alumni, business and nonprofit partners, and of course, the wider community as well. We hear one message loudly and clearly. We all stand for a more equitable future with healthy and prosperous people and a healthy and living, thriving planet. Business leaders are rallying behind a new vision for the global economy and a transformation agenda that is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. Our goal and an important part of our mission as a business school, therefore, is to educate a new generation of professionals who are up to this challenge. As early as 2015, we therefore joined PRiME, the largest organized relationship between the United Nations and business schools worldwide. The idea of PRiME was introduced by the UN Global Compact, the world's corporate sustainability initiative, and a call to companies to align strategies and operations with universal principles of human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. Working through 6 principles, this global educational project engages business schools to ensure that they provide future leaders with the skills needed to balance economic and sustainability goals. As one of our many contributions to PRiME, we have developed the PRiME competition. This is now the 4th time that our students have worked hard at projects throughout the year and in the weeks past proudly presented their work. Alumni, as well as community members, friends, families have all contributed to it by casting their votes and learning more about the Sustainable Development Goals. Each year, I continue to be amazed by the passion of our students for PRiME, and their projects make me confident that we are on a path to a true transformation for the global economy. So let me welcome you all and now hand over to Dr. Valeria Makarova to speak more about the PRiME initiative and the PRiME competition at the School of Management.
Thank you, Gerhard. Welcome to PRiME, dear students, colleagues, our community. When I address community, I want to emphasize commonalities and things we all share, our common goals and our aspirations for building a better world around us. Since joining PRiME's global network in 2015, the School of Management has been telling our stories, what we do for educating responsible leaders. Over the past years, we issued 3 comprehensive reports. You may find them on the School of Management PRiME web pages. And the last one covers the pandemic period. You may certainly download it from the web pages. PRiME student competition is a very important project for us. We invite you all for this journey, the journey of learning about and contributing to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, an ambitious plan to tackle the greatest global challenges. In PRiME competition, students complete their projects. Professors provide guidance, and sustainability experts from the local professional community serve as judges. Alums participate in various roles. Learning, sharing, creating is our motto. Here at the School of Management community, we believe that business can be a force for good. Innovative solutions, inspiring business models, inclusive partnerships, collaboration across borders. There are great examples, best practices, entrepreneurial ideas, and stories about how social and environmental issues can be addressed and problems solved. This is what our PRiME competition is all about. This year, and it's our 4th competition, 12 projects made it to the final stage. The winners will soon be announced, but today we celebrate all our finalists and all those who supported them. Thank you all. And I hand back to our host.
Thanks, Valeria. And now to the awards presentation. Before we proceed, I want to recognize all my fellow students who participated in this year's competition. They all deserve a round of applause. This is our agenda for today. First, our judges will speak about how their organizations are addressing the SDGs for a better world, and also recognize some other projects which also deserve honorable mentions. Then we are going to proceed with the award ceremony. Now, let me introduce the speakers and competition judges who tirelessly worked with us this year. Meet Joni, Wilson, and David. We are privileged to have these top managers from different industries: biotech, entrepreneurship, and government. They carefully evaluated each submitted project before making final decisions, reviewing the projects from a professional perspective and considering how they connect with the SDGs. And now I hand it over to the Sustainability Officer for the City of Glendale, David Jones. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Dolce. First of all, I just want to say how privileged it is to be part of this, the judging of this competition, and to see the future leaders of our businesses, of our communities, understand and address sustainability issues, just because of the importance of that is to all of us going forward. As mentioned, as we want to create a livable planet for us and a place of peace and prosperity. So I'm honored to be here today. So thank you for that. So yeah, at the City of Glendale, next slide, please. We are developing a sustainability program, and we're looking at developing that program in these 5 core areas. That is decarbonization, nature-based solutions, green economic development, equitable development, and adaptation and resiliency, excuse me. As we go about, and as we have been going about developing our sustainability programs and initiatives, we do, being a city, we do look at outside influences and try to understand what those outside influences will have on our sustainability programs. So for us, for example, we look at what our constituents want from us. We have to look at federal and state legislation, how that impacts our sustainability program. We also look at commitments that the city signs up to, such as the Race to Zero commitment that our mayor recently signed. And we look at agreements, and we look at programs such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Why is it important to us as an organization to look at these external influences? We have to understand whether any of these programs will have an impact on our strategy. Also provides context to our sustainability programs. Why are we pursuing certain objectives within our sustainability programs? And how are sustainability programs aligning with those of other cities and jurisdictions? So all these external influences somehow come to bear on what we do as a city, as an organization, to develop our programs. Next slide, please. So, for example, one of our key topics is that of decarbonization. So within the city of Glendale, how do we decarbonize our transportation system, but also our built environment? And through that, we are developing a climate action and adaptation plan. And within that climate action and adaptation plan, we have a number of initiatives, such as Vision Zero, or supporting Glendale Water and Power in the SB 100 programming, which requires utilities to have green resources or zero emission carbon supplies for all energy by 2045. And also we change ordinances such as implementing building electrification ordinances. And as you can see, all these programs that we have refer back to organizations or programs such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So that's how we communicate to our public, to our constituents, how we're pushing our sustainability program and how the city, in essence, is becoming greener. Now, this brings me to my honorable mention, and that is Eric Swanson's paper on Nike Sustainable Business Review. As with all the entrants, reading all the entrants for this competition, you know, I learned something new, which was fascinating. For example, I did not know that the original name of Nike was Blue Ribbon Sports, so that's something new I learned today. In his essay, Eric identified the economic, social, and environmental touch points associated with fast fashion with the production of sports goods. Eric's essay was well researched, and I was a fan how Eric connected the UN Sustainable Development Goals to the Nike's environmental and sustainability strategy. Eric also highlighted some of the weaknesses in Nike's sustainability program, such as the issues associated with supply chain and wage of workers within the supply chain. Again, this is a well-researched paper and is well worth of an honorable mention. Now I'll turn it over to Wilson. Wilson.
Thank you very much, David. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. I wasn't expecting to have as much fun as reading all of the submissions as I did, and learning so much and being inspired actually by the students and seeing what wonderful ideas they've come up with and what wonderful projects they have thought up with. So it was a difficult decision to make in terms of choosing who the winners were. But everyone should be proud that they made their submissions and they got this far. So I want to tell you a little bit about our company, Hago Energetics. We are a startup, a few years old, and our corporate headquarters is actually down the hill from Thousand Oaks. So we're in Camarillo, and we strongly believe in creating an abundant future for humanity. So next slide, please. So our mission is to reverse global warming and leave a habitable planet for future generations around the world. The objectives is to first scale up carbon negative technologies and lower the carbon footprint of the chemical industry and recycle resources whenever possible. So these are lofty objectives. And what I like to tell young people, and I want you young people to take away, is that even though you have lofty objectives, it's okay to go for them or to try to achieve them. What's the worst thing that can happen? Worst thing that can happen is you can fail. And if you do fail, you're going to learn something. So go for it. Next slide, please. So our approach is to actually create hydrogen from animal waste and into food waste. This is our first project. We take animal waste, for example, cow manure, combine it with agricultural waste, such as forest waste and also food waste, and create hydrogen. And then this hydrogen is useful in making plastics and power plants, and then as fuel for heavy-duty vehicles. In the process, also, we make a soil amendment called biochar, which goes into farms. And this soil amendment is helpful for to increase the productivity of the farms, and also it's helpful in dealing with drought resistance. So it's good from that point of view, because most of the hydrogen created today is created from fossil fuels, and it's enormously expensive from a point of view of carbon. It produces enormous amounts of carbon emissions. And so to the extent that we can replace this hydrogen from using biogenic methods, so much the better. Next slide, please. So we have a pilot facility. We're going to install our technology in the Central Valley of California. And then so we're working in a farm. And then we're going to be taking the waste of the animals, putting them in a lagoon, and then converting the gas that's emanated from the decomposition of this matter through our machine. And it's going to be, eventually, if the machine is scaled up sufficiently, it's going to produce close to 15,000 tons of hydrogen. Next slide, please. So in terms of our sustainability goals, we think we checked a few boxes. I mean, because of the biochar and the ability for farms to become more sustainable, there's no poverty, and also the zero hunger to the extent that we're delaying the effects of droughts. And also we have affordable and clean energy as a result of hydrogen production. Check off number 9 in terms of industry, innovation, infrastructure. Sustainable cities, because we can take food waste and put it through our process, and as well as climate action, because our process is carbon negative, and also 15 in terms of life on land, increasing the productivity of the land. Next slide, please. So that's us, and then in the next slide talks about the honorable mention. It was difficult for me to make a choice in terms of the honorable mention, so I chose 2 of them. The first one is meals with nutrition. And this was a very nice write-up. What I liked about this one is that each of the individuals involved put $10,000 of their own money into the project, and they made actually a $200,000 loan on the project. So there's nothing like telling somebody you believe in something when you put your own money into it. And plus the idea of eating healthy and selling healthy food to students is fantastic. I also liked Selvin for basically the same reasons. I mean, they together, the 3 authors put in $100,000 of their money to contribute to get started. And I think in terms of them promoting sustainable fashion, it's a great goal. And also the fact that they're doing 100% organic farming, which means less water usage, it means less fertilizers, and a less carbon footprint. So I think this is both of these groups are admirable, done admirable work. I think that's it for me. And can we please go back to Joni?
Thanks, Wilson. So my name is Joni Burns. I'm an Environment, Health, Safety, and Sustainability Manager at Amgen. And if you want to go to the next slide, the Sustainable Development Goals really provide a holistic framework through which we can pursue our own environment, social, and governance programs and goals. As the infographic here shows, it's a bit small, but we really feel we can contribute in the most meaningful way to these 5 Sustainable Development Goals. And those are good health and well-being, quality education, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And I'll speak a bit more about innovation in a minute. Responsible consumption and production, and partnership for the goals. Something that I think is really important to point out, speaking to the holistic framework, is that sustainability is more than just environmental sustainability. It's a very important part of our programs at Amgen and what I do, but it really is much more broad than that. It's, as I like to say, sustainability with a capital S. What are you doing as a company today to ensure you're here tomorrow, and not tomorrow, tomorrow 10 years from now? So you really do need to think beyond just environment, but social governance, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Is it a great place to work? Do you have great business ethics? And I think that's a really important thing to point out, because the Sustainable Development Goals, by way of the depth and breadth of the goals, really do acknowledge that. So next slide, if you would. I do want to speak a bit more about our environmental sustainability, because we, in 2020, announced our 2027 sustainability goals. And this was our third set, if you will, of goals. The first ones we laid out were in 2007, another round in 2013, and then in 2020, we laid out what are by far the most ambitious goals. As you can see, we are aiming to be net zero carbon by 2027, to reduce our water consumption by 40%, and to reduce waste disposed by 75%. And how we're going to do that, SDG 9, innovation. We need to innovate. We really are going to look at changing how we do things, becoming more efficient. Of course, renewable energy is a big piece of it in terms of our carbon neutrality. But then, what we talk about is sustainability by design, and that is integrating sustainability into the business, embedding it into our culture, and really making it part of our decision-making process. And to that end, I do want to share just a few projects. This is very specific that we're working on. Most of them are at Thousand Oaks, where I'm based, our headquarters. Most of them are waste related, because that is my core responsibility. But I thought I would take an opportunity to kind of show practically what types of things we're doing. So if you want to go to the next slide. The pandemic, to me, provided an opportunity. I have been wanting to partner with TerraCycle. It's an organization that recycles difficult waste. So they're the company that makes purses out of Skittles bags, or they recycle toothpaste tubes. And I knew they could recycle masks. And because we never stopped working, we never stopped serving our patients with important medicines, we were on site, we were using a lot of masks. So we are partnering with TerraCycle to get all of those masks recycled. The vast majority goes into a process that develops industrial lumber. So if you think of pallets, shipping pallets, or you may see boardwalks in a public space that it's a plastic lumber that's made from recycled plastics. To date, we've recycled well over 2 million pounds, 2 million tons of masks. And later this year, I'm going to expand it to other personal protective equipment we use on site, such as booties and beard covers and gloves. And I'm really aiming to divert a huge amount of waste from landfill by way of that program. Next slide is another partnership. I am eliminating paper cups at the campus, which might not sound like a big deal, but we use upwards of 1.8 million paper cups at the Thousand Oaks campus. So that's a huge amount of waste. And again, partnership, we're partnering with an organization called Fill It Forward. And what they do, if you want to go to the next slide, there's a little QR code. You scan it with the Fill It Forward app, and it tracks your impact. So everyone will be able to see their individual impact. And then we at Thousand Oaks will be able to see our collective impact by not using a disposable single-use paper cup. Also, whenever you scan, Fill It Forward works with charitable organizations to develop clean, safe drinking water for vulnerable communities. Every time you scan, another donation goes in. So it's really meaningful, and it kind of speaks to that SDG 17 of strategic partnerships to achieve the goals. Next slide. Also, with a view to eliminating single-use disposables, we are moving to reusable takeout containers in our restaurants. We're going to pilot doing it in one of our restaurants with a goal to eliminating all single-use disposables throughout the campus by the end of 2022. Next slide. One more partnership, and this is a wonderful organization. I would encourage everyone, especially if you're in academia, to look up My Green Lab. This is an organization, it's a global organization. It works with the research community, largely colleges and universities, and also they're very heavily focused on the biotech sector to green the lab. So it comes to anything from energy use to consumables use to green chemistry. And we've been partnering with them. We're in about month 5 of our partnership with them, and we've already made huge progress on making really positive steps to making our labs more environmentally friendly. So again, I just wanted to provide some examples of what this means in practice at a real place. So now I want to talk about my honorable mention, and that is economic strategies when faced with climate change and environmental regulations. This was Nathan Hatia. This was a wonderful look at 2 important industries in California, and that is agriculture and transportation. Nathan did a really wonderful job at looking at some of the big environmental liabilities or issues associated with these industries, what the potential concerns are, and what the considerations are with 2 specific sustainable development goals, and that was SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, and SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And he, again, pointed out really specific issues. For example, when it comes to decent work and economic growth, he spoke to the potential impacts of transportation on community. So it was he did a really good job of tying the project into the SDGs, and then he provided very good actionable recommendations to help address some of those issues. So really good work, Nathan. I just really enjoyed your presentation, your research. I thought you did a great job, so thank you. And with that, we are going to go on to the awards. And I think I'm passing it back to Wilson or David. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Wilson.
Thanks, Joni. So I will be talking about the second place for this competition. And let me say about this project that I think it's a terribly important subject. I wish I had been shown financial literacy when I was in high school or even in college. And I went to a pretty good college. And so I think that they address a very important topic of quality education as a development goal. They talk about an online platform where they can address basically the severe needs that students need in order to understand financial literacy in terms of understanding taxes, good credit, the stock market, you name it. And so I was blown away by their thorough analysis and also their projections, the good analysis of the sales, how they're going to distribute do the distribution in the business. So with that said, Andan, the winner of the second place is Savvy Students. So we have Brooks Mallory, Tim Niebert, and Cameron Mallory. If I can ask them to turn on their cameras and just briefly tell us a little bit about kind of what drove them to do kind of this business, and just tell us a little bit, about what you guys are hoping to do.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Hey,
Cool,
Cameron.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the award. We appreciate it. Congrats to everyone who submitted to PRiME. It's a great accomplishment. I know we all spent a lot of time on this, so congratulations to everyone. Thanks to our professor, Professor Manning, for the guidance throughout this project, and my team members, Cameron and Kim. So as you said, Savvy Student is a online financial literacy platform where we provide the necessary financial background for high school students. We do this through 20 to 30-minute lecture videos provided by experts in their fields. So whether it's financial planners, could be bankers, could be professors, that kind of thing. And then supplementing that with a in-person seminar provided to the districts 3 times a year. So combining the in-person and the virtual learning.
Great, thank you. Anything else from any other team members? Cameron
No,
or
Brooks,
Tim?
I think Brooks got it, but I just want to say thank you guys for the award and for hosting us tonight.
Yeah, like Tim said, thank you guys so much. This was such a fun project to work on, and couldn't thank my team members enough. We all worked so hard on this, and to see it pay off is pretty cool and special. And so just a very fun project, and thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you guys. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Joni.
That's great. Thanks, and congratulations, Savvy Student. That was very cool. The project that won first place was a very thorough research of a company's sustainable business strategies. I really thought it was very thorough. What the project did is it gave a nice background on the company. It talked about the 4 SDGs that this company is working towards or contributing to, and then it honed in on one, and that is climate change. And it really spoke to the company's vulnerabilities, their influence on climate change and the vulnerabilities having to do with climate change, how they can possibly improve. And to that end, the recommendations were very insightful. They were not just kind of the standard ones you would think associate, that you would come to think of easily with this industry, but they really thought beyond it. And without giving away what the industry is, they went beyond something like, fuel consumption to meals served in the process of doing business. So they really looked at, again, holistically, what does this mean for this business? And I think this was the only project that actually mentioned ESG. I know I mentioned that in talking about Amgen, environment, social, and governance, that more broad look at what sustainability really means. And that really impressed me, that I think that the individual learned something by doing this project. So well done. With that, first place goes to JetBlue's Sustainable Business Strategies by Brandon Pereira. Excellent. And do we have Brandon here? Are you there? Are you here, Brandon?
Yes, I'm right here. Hello.
Excellent. Congratulations. I was wholly impressed by this, and I would be interested to know if you had heard ESG, if you knew that term of art before you did this project, and then if you want to speak any more about the project, we'd love to hear about it.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for the award. I truly appreciate it. Yeah. So before I did this project, I had no idea what ESG meant. I would always hear about sustainability terms, but I never actually like looked further than I never looked any further than that. So when I was looking at the ESG reports for JetBlue, it really and seeing how thorough they were, and just looking at the amount of initiatives they had for environmental, social, and governance was just really incredible. So it was just really awesome to see that even through a pandemic, they're continuing to be sustainable, and they've created a lot of initiatives and looking beyond and seeing what else they can do and what are the avenues and partnerships they can make. So yeah, it was just really awesome. Thank you so much again. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent, Brandon. Thanks. I'm feel very hopeful for the future with projects like that. So thank you very much. And I'm going to pass it to David now for our grand prize.
Great, thank you, Jody. And yeah, to everyone, I think I mentioned this before, to everyone, congratulations. Every project was a pleasure to read. I want to congratulate the second and first prize place winners. I can tell you, as being one of the judges of this program, this was not an easy task, and I know you hear that from time to time, but it really wasn't. We deliberated long and hard to choose the top 3 winners and to choose the grand prize winner too. So to all of you, congratulations. So it's my honor and privilege to announce the grand prize winner. This is my first time judging this competition, so it's a double honor and privilege. So thank you very much to the PRiME group from Cal Lutheran. This project impressed me in so many ways. First of all was the great research and analysis done into the topic of the project. And then the way that they highlighted the issues associated with food production, the use of the graphics, the explanation of the graphics to support that argument was absolutely outstanding. And just they described the magnitude of the issue in front of us as a global society. And as Joni mentioned, ESG, sustainability, is such a large thing that we need to get our head around, and how do we do that effectively? So what I really liked about this project was the approach they took that would require behavior change. So especially where I come from, working from a city, we can't, tell people to change their behaviors. So how do we effectively do that? And this project used the tool of negotiation. So how do we negotiate an outcome? How do we get to that win-win place? And I thought that was really impressive, and really to use that tool. I thought it was very inventive to use that tool to try and create the outcome that you want. So to change the behavior of doing something one way, understanding the concerns of understanding concerns of the other people. So you feel safe as an individual, society as a group, to change the way you do things. So this project addressed the Sustainable Development Goals of zero hunger, climate action, life below water, and life on land. So yeah, so again, it's my honor and privilege to announce the grand prize winner as Food and Sustainability, Meat versus Vegan, by the authors Cornelia and Sebastian. Congratulations, Cornelia and Sebastian. And we hope that you are with us. I believe it's very early where you are, but would you please talk to us about your project, how you came about it, how you decided to look at the negotiation strategy as a way to describe how we can overcome these things?
Well, first of all, thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Well, first of all, thanks to everybody participating and also all the other students. I mean, we had a look at all those projects and they all were amazing. And of course, it's a very big honor for us to win this competition. So a big thank you to my fellow colleague Sebastian and also to Judy, who supported us with this project. So when Sebastian and I, we both live actually on a vegetarian or vegan diet. So this is a project that's both close to our hearts actually. And when we had our negotiation class, that's also the first topic that came to our minds. Okay, we're gonna do something about that. And when we started more and more research, because we also read a lot about it in our private lives, I mean, we changed our lifestyles and we actually faced similar issues as mentioned in our negotiation or fictional negotiation a lot in our private lives there. When you tell people, okay, you live vegan, it's like, is that healthy? I mean, don't you have issues? Also when talking to doctors or things like that. So we combined all these experiences in our paper there, and you can see it's already very, very difficult on a private level to find common grounds. So imagine how difficult it is to change the whole society on a global perspective. And I mean, for this type, that's, but we also still believe that every person can actually have an impact and make a change. And that's what we tried to highlight here. So, and these small changes by just eating less meat, for instance, how big an impact that can have on our planet, not just personally, but on the whole planet, like on the climate, for life below water, life on land, and also even ending hunger, because it's statistically proven to end hunger if we would all live on a vegetarian or vegan diet. So yeah. We hope we could make at least a little or raise a bit of awareness with this paper. So yeah, once again, thank you very much.
Sebastian, are we going to hear from you?
Me actually? Yes. Oh, you can hear me. Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot also from my side to everybody involved, everybody supporting us for this project. Thanks, Connie. I think we had some very interesting discussions regarding this subject, and I think that the style we tried to put the paper through this negotiation is something we are actually facing in our daily lives. With our friends and family or in general, and so we said, okay, let's put this into a negotiation. Let's see how we can try to convince people. And finally, as Connie said, we're personally, this is a topic deep in our hearts, and we very much appreciate that you gave it this stage. It's 3 a.m. in the morning here in Austria, so it's quite cool for us that we won, and we're very much looking forward to coming to California. Actually, our flights are in a couple of hours, so I hope to meet some of you there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Cornelia and Sebastian, and once again, congratulations on a great project, and safe flights, and yes, welcome to sunny California. You're going to come to ride to some beautiful weather. So anyway, right now I'll hand over back to Joni, please.
Yes, thank you. Really impressive. I didn't know you folks were on your way to California. That's great to hear. But some of the things that you talked about, the way that you applied coursework and you brought learnings in from other places to build your project is something that the three judges saw in many of the presentations. And, you know, I just want to echo what my fellow judges have said. Hugely impressive, hugely difficult. Everyone put in just a ton of work. It's clear, and we really, really appreciate it. I am very honored. This is my 4th PRiME competition. I want to thank David and Wilson as my fellow judges. It was a wonderful experience working with both of you. I really want to thank Susan and Valeria, who are so committed to this endeavor and have grown this program just beautifully. Thanks, Gerhard. Thanks to all of the professors who supported your students. This is just such a wonderful program, and it's been wonderful to see it grow and evolve and mature. The level of sophistication is just phenomenal. I can't even imagine what we're going to see next year. So with that, I want to present the People's Choice Award. And this may sound familiar because it goes to Meat versus Vegan. So we just heard from Cornelia and Sebastian, and you have also won the People's Choice Award. Well deserved. So thank you again for your wonderful project. And yay. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up. So once again, thanks to everyone for coming. Big congratulations to all the award winners and to every student who participated. And I really, really look forward to another wonderful competition next year. And you all give me great hope that the future is in good hands. So with that, thanks everyone, and have a good rest of your evening, or as the case may be, a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.